Okay, guys, so we are going to go over some E blues. I started this last week. It seems like you guys like it. And so we're going to do some E blues. One of the interesting comments I saw somebody leave was, how do we connect the fretboard, right? So like we've got our open E licks, and then we've got our all the way down at the 12th fret licks. But then we got all this space in the middle. How do we connect it? So I thought it'd be kind of cool to look into that together here with the E. Now, once we learn an E, we can actually learn it anywhere. That's the cool thing about blues and the guitar, is that once you learn it one time, you kind of learn it anywhere. So what we're going to learn is what's this in-between stuff that we see people playing, right? That stuff that's kind of in the middle between our open E. Now, just to make sure that we're good with open E, pentatonic, and then down here at the 12th fret, let's go over it real quick. Okay, so when we're talking about open E playing, we're talking about following along our pentatonic here, okay? So in this case, it would be open E, 3rd fret of E, open A, 2nd fret of A, open D, 2nd fret of D, open G, 2nd fret of G, open B, 3rd fret of B, open E, 3rd fret of B. Alright, and then when we're talking about up here at the 12th fret, you're making the same thing, but you've got the 12th fret of the low E string, the 15th fret of the low E string, 12th fret of the A, 14th of the A, 12th fret of the D, 14th of the D, 12th fret of the G, 14th of the G, 12th fret of the B, 15th of the B, 12th fret of the A, 15th of the A. Alright, so now we know those, right? But we want to figure out how to connect those two. Because if you're playing like a solo, right? If you're playing like a shuffle, and you start going, I mean, it's okay, but it's kind of like all over the place, and you just went from really low pitch to some higher pitches, and you want to kind of like find out how do we connect them. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to connect these two. So let's start by using our B and our E string, our high E string, because I think those two help us connect it the most, and then we can learn some of the lower notes as well. Okay, so if we go to the tail end of our open pentatonic E, we have got the open B, the 3rd fret of the B, the open high E, and the 3rd fret of the high E. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to extend that by 2 frets, okay? So what I mean by that is you go from the 3rd fret of the B to the 5th fret of the B. Same thing on the high E string. 3rd fret of the E to the 5th fret of the E. Okay, so that's the first way to extend it. So now we got a little bit more. So let's just do a shuffle. Now we got those notes. But that leads us straight into the next kind of extension of the E pentatonic. Now, granted, these are all going to be kind of the same notes because it's a pentatonic. It's just moving it around on the fretboard. So then, our next connection here that I think sounds really, really cool is on the B string. You're going to go from that 5th to all the way down to the 8th fret of the B string. Okay? And I want to stop here at this part because you also got a G note you can throw in there, or a note on the G string, rather. And that's the 7th fret of the G. So there's a kind of a box we can connect it with. Alright, and then next, if we look at the high E string, we've got, ooh, that was bad, a real quick pull off we can do, which is at the 6th fret to back to the 5th fret. Okay, so if we add that, we've got something there. So now we've gone from our open E, we're extending it now. Alright, so let's camp out here for a minute and add some of our lower strings in. Alright. Because around this spot too, we've got some of the lower strings things. Lower strings that we can use. So, remember that. Now watch what you can do. We can add some of the lower strings. So if we go up here to the 5th fret of the low E, you can actually use the 5th, 6th, and 7th of the low E here. Alright, and then from there, you can use the 5th fret of the A, the 5th fret, or excuse me, the 5th fret of the A, the 7th fret of the A, the 5th fret of the D, the 7th fret of the D, and then that's where you get another connection here. So you go down to the, and you can slide all the way down to the 9th fret of the D, grab the 7th fret of the G, and then hit the 9th fret of the G. Okay, so let's do those notes together. Ready? Okay, now we've got 2 connectors here. So we've got our, and then on the lower strings. Alright, so now, remember, we've had that 8th fret on the B string. We can extend that all the way to the 10th fret. And now you got a little box here. And we're going to add the E string in, okay? So now our box here, as we're getting closer to the 12th fret, notice that. We've got the 9th fret of the G, 10th fret of the B, 8th fret of the B, 10th fret of the B, and then here's what you can do with your high E string. 7th fret of the high E string, all the way down to the 10th fret of the high E string. So the box looks like this. Alright, so again, that's, and that's another extension. Now you're going to notice you are super close to just doing a slide on that B string and all 3 of those bottom strings, and you're already back to your pentatonic that we started with. So now we have figured out how to take, if we're just doing like a shuffle, adding, adding some connectors there. And you just got to play around with it, but you can now connect all the way from the open position to the 12th fret position, and you got all this stuff in the middle now that you can connect those two. And the cool thing is, again, once you learn that, you can do that in any key. So that's a really, really cool trick on the guitar. I hope you found this helpful. And let me know in the comments if there's any. I probably missed some ways you could connect it. Now, obviously, there's the major pentatonics that you could throw in there too. Maybe we'll look at that next week. But let me know in the comments if I missed anything that you know how to connect, because I'm always trying to learn as well. Or if I can clear anything up, let me know as well.